at the end of the day, who is it all up to? This week, you see exactly what's going on. Someone did mention medications coming in at even with tomatoes. This is not usual. I mean, I know we be low over here in my parts of New Jersey, but hey family, welcome back to another video. Today is Saturday, so firstly, happy Saturday. Hopefully you all had a great week and wishing for an amazing weekend. We're gonna jump right into our Saturday's news, comments, and reports, and I hope that you all enjoy. This is Shauna, and I'm officially checking in over here at Moments with Us. Of course, checking in from Northern New Jersey. You all check in. Let us know where you're watching from and how you are doing. All right, and before we jump right into the reports for today, I want to make sure that you all are aware of certain shortages. Well, one main shortage. So someone had a concern, wondering if anyone had insight on the following situation. My grandson's girlfriend is due today, and the doctor attempted to set her up to be induced. The hospital said they couldn't even induce her because they didn't have enough IV bags. She's going to the doctor tomorrow for a sonogram to make sure the baby is still okay. Does anyone have any insight as to what's causing these hospital supply issues? And of course, they're located in New York. Wow. So a shortage of the hospital IV fluids. You know, if you have been pregnant before, or if you are a dad and you've been in that hospital room, you know, one of the first things that they hook you up to is that IV bag, for extra fluid so you don't get dehydrated and everything else. To have a shortage of IV fluids, let's see what is going on with that. Someone did come by and share some insight on that. Just in case some of you are experiencing some of the same issues, here's what someone said. And here's the issues with some of the storms. So due to the past hurricanes that we recently had, some plants was actually affected too. I'm gonna pull that up in a minute. So this person did come through and they did confirm, you know, Baxter plant in North Carolina, it supplies 60% of U.S. hospitals, dialysis clinics with large bags of IV fluids. The plant received damage in roads to it washed out with the Hurricane Helene. Should be fully operational by the end of this year. Many hospitals are putting off some elective surgeries and procedures, especially ones that use more IV fluids, which is typically the urology procedures. For example, the person says, if she has issues with preeclampsia or high blood pressure or other urgent needs, she would be able to proceed with the induction. If induction is just for convenience, then that is understandable to forego the induction. For your information, some hospitals are getting their patients to drink water or Gatorade or other clear fluids 2 hours prior to their surgeries to help the patient into surgery in a more equal fluid state. To help minimize the amount of IV fluids needed during the surgery. Okay, this is approved evidence based measures. Anesthesia societies support the use of even in normal situations. Hopefully, the U.S. hospitals will soon find alternative vendors to help ease the shortage. Durham Milton, another IV fluid company that supplies 25% of U.S. hospital IV fluids, sustained some damage also. We are in those scary times. Wow, who knew? How many of you actually knew that Baxter plant was affected and it was now an IV shortage? I honestly didn't even know that until recently. And then when I went on one of my groups and I'm looking around, I see this post and this lady was like, oh, you know, couldn't get induced. And I'm like, wait, hold on, what's the purpose? And then it said IV fluid shortage. And I'm like, dang, that is crazy. But let's see if there's any update with that. All right, so as IV shortage continues after the hurricane, the U.S. invokes wartime power to speed recovery. Well, hopefully it is sped up in time for a lot of patients. And I wonder if they get that priority, like hospitals versus residential, you know, homes and stuff like that, or hospitals and stuff priority as far as like restoring power, you know, making repairs that need to be repaired and everything else. And speaking of the past hurricanes, some of you did come through and share that you guys did lose your refrigerated items, but there was extra money loaded onto food cards. Certain churches did help out in pantries, and I believe in Florida, water was given out, money was loaded onto cards as well. um, and what else was it? They was doing like some FEMA check. Um, there was some funding that did go out. So let us know if you received any of the funding. Did you go pick up your water? Did you go ahead and get the money on a food card? Did you go to the pantries or whatever sites they had set up for the extra food? Hopefully you all did, to replace the items that you lost. Next, we're going to discuss how a poultry farm abandoned thousands of chickens. What is going on here? So, poultry farms turned to Facebook after processor abandoned thousands of chickens? Okay. So, Pure Prairie Poultry abruptly closed its Iowa plant, leaving at least 6 Wisconsin farms without a way to feed or process chickens they raise. Ain't that about us something else? Now listen, if this is the main plant that farmers or people who, raise feed and chickens, if this is the main plant that people rely on and they just up and leave, I didn't even read this article yet, guys. I wonder if they had a response, if someone caught up with them. Let's see. So at least 6 Wisconsin farms are giving away tens of thousands of chickens raised for meat through posts on Facebook after their contracted processor abruptly closed last week. Here we go. So they did file for bankruptcy in Minnesota at the end of September, but because one of its creditors objected to the plan, the case was dismissed. So on October 9th, the company closed its processing plant in Charles City, Iowa, and stopped paying for feed for its birds. Like most major poultry companies, Pure Prairie owns the chickens and contracts with farms to raise the birds on their behalf. So Greg Martin, a poultry producer near Mondovi, said the company owes him at least $90,000 in rent and other expenses. He had 45,000 chickens that Pure Prairie was supposed to pick up for processing on October 6th. But the company canceled with just a few days' notice. 3 days later, Martin was notified he could no longer get feed from his local supplier. So Martin said his contract with the company initially told him they would euthanize the birds on his farms. But he said the representative later said they didn't have the money to even do it. Trifling. I said, okay, so now what? And he wouldn't give me an answer because they knew for a fact that they was already shut down. So Cal, president of the Trempealeau County Farm Bureau, said some producers are paying $20,000 per week to continue feeding the animals on top of labor and facility costs. But the farms can't legally sell the birds in order to recoup these costs. So a lot of these farmers are heartbroken. They're not sleeping because they know that this is not right. They're concerned for their flocks and their birds' well-being. So there are a series of posts on Facebook and Reddit. People have shared the addresses of the farms in Buffalo and Trempealeau counties where people can come get the chickens for a donation or for free. Wow. Martin said the idea came from a similar effort by Pure Prairie producers in Minnesota who were able to give away all of their chickens. A bunch of us kind of set up in different ways on Facebook. They said, my phone's been ringing and dinging since last week and I can't keep up because people are trying to get those chickens. But yep, people in Minnesota didn't have a way to actually feed their, flock because the company just shut down. Even though they did file for bankruptcy, they closed beforehand. So if you guys know about this story, let us know how you feel about that. But wow, thousands of chickens they said here. Wow. Yeah, if you can't afford to keep up with it, then you're going to have to let it go. But I see so much more with this here. So then if we're looking at the cost of chicken again, of course, or if there's an issue with supply, Bird flu. I'm hearing more and more about this whole bird flu again. So bird flu forces the culling of 1.8 million chickens in northern Utah. So Salt Lake City, a large commercial poultry flock in northern Cache County, has been confirmed as having the bird flu. The first such event this year, according to Utah Department of Agriculture and Food. The disease, technically named highly pathogenic avian influenza, has prompted an investigation by the state veterinarian's office. So they're saying bird flu is a highly contagious and fatal to poultry. So the entire infected commercial flock was culled, numbering 1.8 million chickens. So Hargraves told KLS.com, and the area surrounding the flock has been quarantined. No information actually was given on the specific farm, though. But that's 1.8 million. Wow. So there's another one due to the bird flu. 1.8 million chickens in northern Utah have been killed. Actually went through this in full, but nearly 10 million pounds of meat and poultry recalled from Trader Joe's, Aldi, and Walmart, and plenty of other stores were recalled over listeria contamination. Even Trader Joe's, they just announced even more recall ready to eat food. So definitely keep up with that Bruce Pack recall because it is expanding. The FSIS announced that it is recalling nearly 10,000 pounds of ready to eat meat and poultry products. The recall was initiated on October 9th. So that Bruce Pack recall, even if you just go to Google, you type it in, boom, 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 you'll find everything that you need in regards to this recall. So you can stay away from them items just in case it's still in your refrigerator, freezers, or still on the shelves at the stores. And as far as with the retail apocalypse, y'all, Macy's have been going downhill for years. As far as closing in-person stores, you can still shop online at Macy's. But as far as like going into a Macy's, I feel like it's more so like that Sears. So Kmart and Sears, I don't know, did they partner? Was they partners or what? I feel like when it came down to Sears was big in malls, and then over time we stopped seeing Sears. So that's what I'm starting to see, with Macy's is they have Macy's in malls, yes, but Macy's are shutting down stores left to right. So Macy's to leave popular mall in months as Chiefs will acts on 150 locations. Shoppers say it was off the hook. So Macy's inside of what store? Exact at the department store chain identify 150 underperforming stores will be closing by 2026. Wow. So it's a Macy's store in Massachusetts. It's to close in the coming months, they say. The store is located in the Kingston Collection Mall. There you go. So the company has tried to reassure shoppers by saying the closure of the outlet in Massachusetts isn't imminent. That's what they're saying. Shoppers will be able to grab Thanksgiving items and Christmas presents from the store. The department store located in the Kingston Collection Mall is to remain open until early 2025. But of course, it's after the holidays, though, so that's great. But 2025 is right around the corner, y'all. And I'm hearing 2025 just like 2024. 2025 is going to be a year. That's the 5-year plan. You ever heard about in life, you ever been asked, what is your 5-year plan? What is the United States of America's 5-year plan? So we have 2025 leading up to 2030, and it starts there. That's personally how I feel. That's how I think about it. It starts there. So they're saying that the shutdown aligns with Chain's desire to return to profitability. So they actually been there since 1989, and shoppers regret the store closing. They're saying it's sad. I grew up here and I've shopped here forever. I'm very disappointed. I love this store, they're saying. Such a bummer about the mall. The place was just off the hook, though. So yeah, same thing, just like the Toys R Us. They did bring back Toys R Us as well. inside of like certain malls, but it's a small little area and they got a sign over it saying Toys R Us, like in Livingston Mall here in Livingston, New Jersey. But yeah, more and more of the retail apocalypse. Something else to definitely pay attention to. I've seen this actually just popped up as we are recording. They're saying a La Nina winter is coming. Here's what that could mean for the U.S. And I'm specifically, purposely, excuse me, guys, putting this here just because as we talk about preparedness, as we talk about stocking up, as I take you guys into the stores and everything like that, if this means a colder winter, it can be a lot for the average family. So it means what we have to run the heat. It's going to cost us more. So we got to prepare ahead for that. And if you're not running your heat, what are ways that you are going to heat your home? What about the people that's, out on the street? It can be a lot. Shelters will fill up, faster if people are relying on shelters. And I see more and more of the economy is being evicted. More families being evicted because the rent is so high. So if that means it's going to be a colder winter, let's prepare ahead. So they're just saying that it's going to be snow even, across the United States. Now, here in New Jersey, because I can really only speak on New Jersey because I live in New Jersey, we have not seen that much snow in the past few years. I think last year we hardly had to shovel. We had to get the ice off the ground, yeah, but as far as like shoveling and making a pile, oh yeah, we haven't had to do that for a while. So if you guys notice that as well, let us know in the comments down below. They're saying last winter was the warmest on record for the lower 48 because it was dominated by La Nina's counterpart El Nino in a world also warming due to fossil fuel pollution. Okay, so the prolonged warmth prevented many heavy snow events in the Northeast and Midwest and created a winter snow drought measured in feet of missing snow, as I was just saying. So La Nina isn't here yet, but has a 60% chance of emerging through November, according to the Climate Prediction Center. All the weather and prediction stuff, they've been nothing but wrong, I'm telling you. Once it arrives, it'll stick around all winter and likely persist into at least early spring of next year. So that means chillier temperatures. Wow. So we're going to see some snow this year or what? I don't want to. I actually been enjoying not seeing the snow. I don't like the snow. Maybe as a kid, but yeah, I don't like the snow. So just prepare for colder temps this week. Not this week, this winter. And of course, do what you got to do to stay warm. It might cost us more because the price of, gas in general, oh my, the gas bill alone it'd be ridiculous. That go up with everything else. So just really keep that in mind. And to add on to our craziness, so Dina Stever came through and said it is being done on purpose, which most of us know. So thank you for joining and including how it's being done on purpose. And put it like this, if it's not everything, a lot of things are being done on purpose. And then Barnabas Collins came through and shared at about the start of the ongoing pandemic, safety restrictions were lifted by our illustrators representatives. Not surprised. And honestly, I didn't even know that about safety restrictions being lifted. And it could be as to why we are seeing so many recalls and so many items just, going downhill when it comes to food. It's not just food items, it's our everyday items. If you got like a certain lotion or a certain furniture fixture you like, or certain tool, or your car appliances, you need your brakes done, you always use this brand and they get installed and they still squeaking or something like that. It's like a whole bunch of stuff just going downhill. The quality of items in general. Man, oh man. But yeah, I didn't know that. So that's something I'm definitely gonna put on my list to look into. And before we end this video off, Rick Miles came through and shared inflation is hitting the lowest income group the hardest. And truly, I wonder why that is. Because we broke. We are just broke out here. But inflation is hitting, it's hitting everywhere. If a person could afford it, they could. And if they can't, then they just can't. Even middle class income, you know, they're making like a penny over the income limits. And now they don't even apply for, you know, certain benefits when it comes down to like food stamps, housing, and all of that stuff. They can't even get it because they made that penny or dollar over the income limit. It's crazy. Yeah, but we're gonna leave this video right here where it's at. If you guys did enjoy today's video, you enjoy hanging out with us, all you have to do is subscribe to become part of the family. Turn your notification bell on so you will not miss the next upload. Until next time, y'all continue to be safe. Prepare the best way that you can prepare, because it's only up to you. And you can only do what you can do. Don't stress about it. Do what you can, okay? So we're going to leave this right here where it's at. This is Shauna, and I'm officially checking out from Moments with Us. Make sure you all stay prepped, stay blessed, and stay safe. Most of all, remain beautiful queens and kings. Thank you for tuning in today. Love you all. Peace.